Assalamu alaikum, welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're gonna talk about atheism again. And more specifically, we're gonna talk about Joop Answers, the guy that wrote the article that I talked about last time. Well, as I said at the end of the video, this was the article by the way, as I said at the end of the video, I am going to write a comment. And honestly, I was surprised. He actually allowed the comment to pass. Usually, when you talk with atheists, they don't want to hear like any contradicting views, right? So they try to like silence you unless they can control the conversation. So if they don't have answers for whatever like propositions they're putting forward, they will just stop the conversation. But he allowed my comment and he gave a response, which I'll read soon enough. Let's first read the comment that I wrote. I have to, you have to forgive me. I like the sentence begins with a typo, and there's like some more typos in here. English is not my first language. Okay, English is not my first language. So judge me by my content, not my typos. Anyway, I say this was a very fun read. Many laughs were had. Here's a pro tip. Next time, don't define God the way a specific subsect of Christians define it. God, and say this is a proof for atheism. If anything, it's a proof that this specific subsect of Christianity is wrong, and even then, the omnibenevolent question can easily be answered by saying that if you were to die in some way that you, Joop, consider evil, that God gives you paradise as reward. And if you disagree that this is a fair exchange, then I suppose doctors are monsters, considering how many times they poke you with needles, cut you open with scalpels, drug you, etc. So it's a simple proposition, right? He says that like God cannot exist because he's not omnibenevolent, right? Which I agree. God is not omnibenevolent. This is a belief of Muslims, and apparently it is as well. But he says that Christians believe that God is omnibenevolent, and thus God isn't omnibenevolent, so God doesn't exist. And I still made the argument, and I showed that even within like the rhymes and reasons of Christianity, you can prove that God can be omnibenevolent. Why? Because if you say that God can be omnibenevolent and exist, right? Like there can be logic behind things happening. For instance, a child dying at a young age out of bone cancer, or like even say that somebody has like this horrific disease, okay, and they are suffering for every day of their life, like painful, the worst suffering you can imagine, and they live for 100 years, or maybe even 200 years, and then they die, and they're given paradise for this, okay? No amount of suffering will ever compare to paradise. Why? Because the pleasure in paradise, it will be infinite. It will be infinite in duration and pleasure. We don't even understand. We can't even grasp this concept, right? But like take any number, okay? Any number in existence, take any number and compare to infinity, it will always be smaller. So that's a comparison. So yeah, that's a proposition, right? Like God, if if you're gonna say that God like cannot be omnibenevolent and like bad things can happen at the same time, that's to say that all doctors are evil, right? Because they do evil stuff. They poke you with needles, they cut you open, they give you drugs against your will, etc. But it's all in the for a good cause, right? Nobody will say that a doctor is evil. I mean, there is literally no one out there that believes a doctor is evil, except maybe a child. You know, children don't like dentists, they don't like doctors, because they don't realize that there is something positive behind that. And this is the kind of like thinking that Joop is in, that God is not all good, so he must be evil, and it contradicts the thought that God is all good. And like I said, I don't even believe in omnibenevolence. But let's say that somebody dies in a natural catastrophe, and he can be given paradise for that. Like all of these unnecessary and cruel deaths, etc. The people are rewarded with paradise. So even a Christian should theoretically be able to answer this question. Even Joop can agree that no amount of like suffering, like even if you were to suffer for 1 billion years, will compare to like pleasure in an infinite amount of time, because infinity will always be larger. It's so large we cannot even grasp the concept of infinity. So Joop can agree with this, I'm sure. And then I went on and I gave the link, and Joop clicked the link and he watched the video. And so here's his response. He said, for people considering clicking the link to the video, be warned. Uh-oh, guys, be warned, be warned. There's something bad. What can be this bad thing that Joop wants to warn people against, okay? Be warned before you click the video, be warned. What is it that he warns people from? Let's see. He'll be tweeted to someone saying they hate atheism. So he's giving trigger warnings, okay? Be warned. Somebody's gonna say they hate atheism. It might trigger you. I should have told them, like in the beginning, guys, listen, just so you know, I am going to spout beliefs about atheism being bad. So if you don't want to hear this, you should click off the video. Don't watch the video. This might trigger you. Like, is this the intellectual discussions within like the atheistic circles? Look, people can hate stuff. They can find stuff disgusting. That doesn't mean that they're automatically wrong, or that they're their views shouldn't be like listened to, right? I said I hate atheism. I have a reason for that, right? Yeah. So people can hate stuff, disgusting stuff, bad stuff. I wrote an answer to him after this. I'm gonna tell you what it was because he hasn't published it, and I don't think he's going to publish it because he published my comment and he wrote a response the same day, and now it's gone like 2 days since I wrote the response, so I doubt he's going to publish it. But let's continue with his response. So he says, so beginning with a closed mind, fails to engage with most of my arguments apart from calling them stupid. Come on, man. Like, obviously I'm not going to engage with your arguments. Like, why would I engage with the Christian arguments? Our knowledge of God isn't improving. Like, this is from a Christian perspective, right? Like, most of the things here is from a Christian perspective. Obviously I'm not going to engage with it. Why would I engage with it? Right? Like, am I going to defend and say that Jesus is God? I would be like, right? Like, you have to be stupid to even imagine that. I'm not going to defend Christian arguments because I don't believe in Christianity. Like, why don't you defend the Christian beliefs then, right? Why didn't you defend Hinduism in this article of yours against yourself, right? It's nonsensical. So yeah, obviously I'm going to call them stupid because they are stupid. Formulation is stupid. You're assuming that all religions is Christianity, which is stupid in itself. You have to agree. Yeah, so I'm not going to defend Christianity. Your arguments were stupid. You have to admit it yourself, okay? I mean, aren't like atheists supposed to be these like extreme logical thinkers and skeptics, etc.? I mean, come on, man, your arguments are stupid. When he engages with an argument, first chooses to strawman it. No, I don't think I did that. And finally accuses me of plagiarism. Just because another video out there makes an argument similar to one of mine above. Look, you copied the video, like sentence for sentence. Where was it? Is it here? Yeah, it's here. Speaking of bats, so he hasn't changed this. It's supposed to be birds and bats. Yeah, so it's bats twice. Still, like, you have to fix this, Joop. It's embarrassing. But yeah, you took like the entirety of this bad design argument comes literally from that Professor Dave video, which I saw like maybe a couple of weeks before I read this article. So obviously, like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. And your article is written 2 years after. Like, what am I supposed to expect? And even if you didn't plagiarize the video, like, it still just shows how how close-minded you atheists are. You're using like the same arguments for like 30 years. Like, come up with some new proofs, right? And even the argument is stupid. Like I told you, like the atheist argument is that because things look the same, they must have the same like origin, right? But the origin can only be evolution, not like common design. I mean, it's homology. It looks the same. Obviously, you can just as likely or even more likely say, yeah, they have the same designer, so they're gonna look the same. I mean, come on, he's ahead. It has outserved its purpose. Like, you have to come with some new arguments for your beliefs. You owe me an hour and 9 minutes of my life. Okay, look, I wrote some typos as well, so I'm not gonna fault you for it. You're also from Netherlands, like, you're not English is not your first language. But I think you were meant to say like 1 hour and 9 minutes of my life, right? But thank you for saying that you like the design of my site. Yeah, I thought that your site looks nice. Still believe that it looks nice. As you can see, it's a clean design and no like bloat on it. I like it. It's simplistic. But like I said in the video, like this cannot be a WordPress site, I said. And I looked for the, the WordPress logo, where there was nowhere. But then I scrolled to the bottom and oh, would you look at that? Designed with WordPress. So obviously it's not all you, okay? You did choose the theme, the style, etc. But I mean, come on, this is a WordPress site. If you had used like Hugo or something like that, like if you know who Luke Smith is, I saw that you like post a lot of like Linux stuff, so you probably know who Luke Smith is. Like he has these nice static websites made with Hugo, right? Like so simplistic. Look at this. Now this is just great. It's simple, it serves a purpose, and that's everything it needs to do. So yeah, you're not exactly you didn't exactly design the website, right? I mean, let's be honest here. So yeah, I watched some other of your like I don't know uh, articles. I mean, there was some good stuff here. Wrote this organizing and managing your photos. This was in 2020. If you and you like gave some suggestions. I know it was like a mess to organize your photos back in the days, but now there's something called Image. If you don't know about it, look, I'm gonna help you. Even though you're an atheist and I hate atheists, I'm gonna help you. Go to Image. It's basically Google Photos, but it's self-hosted, right? I think it's like Photo that holds it now. So there you go. I recommend Image for you. So now you cannot say I was mean to you. But I did check out this article, Does God Exist? Also written by you, obviously. And I saw the proofs because I don't want to see like proofs for is Christianity false or true or whatever, right? Because that's most of your articles about religion. It's all Christianity. And these like articles that are like supposed to be generic, even they are like Christianity. I mean, the title is Does God Exist? Many Absolute Proofs. I mean, yeah, obviously like you put it in citations, right? Because it's somebody else's claim. But then again, it's like you should have been more clear because this is all Christianity. And I checked your yeah like your responses to the proofs, and your responses are like very lackluster, man. Like number one, the question that SETI hasn't found any extraterrestrial civilization yet, and you give like some bogus answer. Let's read it. We seem to be alone in the universe, therefore God exists. Like it's not that simple, right? You're just and you accuse me of straw manning. I mean, this is a straw man. Obviously, this is not what the claim is. Like I don't know what the specific claim is in this video, right? I haven't watched it, but I know like this is not a claim that this person made. Like this is a claim, a general claim, but he has maybe formed it through his own like expressions, right? Not only is this a complete non sequitur, the argument as presented makes it sound as if SETI is a hugely funded research project, which evidently not the case. Yeah, like what SETI was set out to do was like look for these large clusters of infrared radiation to see if like there are massive intergalactic civilizations out there that have like captured the energy of their stars, right? I mean, that's not the like the point of SETI, but that was something they were hoping to see. Yeah, obviously they didn't see it, and you could like do this research from your backyard. Like if you have a good infrared telescope, you could do this research from your backyard today with advanced technology. So you don't need that much money to do it, honestly. Because we are not expecting to find like this vague like radio signal from a civilization like 2 million light years away or something like that. No, we are supposed to like see a galaxy filled with civilizations. I mean, like filled to the brim with civilizations. Like, no matter where you point in the sky, that you're gonna find like thousands of civilizations. Okay, we don't see that. That's a good question. Why don't we see that? Obviously, something weird is happening. Okay, like you have to admit something weird is happening. Statistically, we should see lots of civilizations. We don't see it. It's also part of your second point here. Life is so improbable that it shouldn't even exist. If life is so abundant in the universe and so easy to be created from like muddy water or whatever the claim is, we should see life everywhere, right? We don't. Something weird is happening. Question is what? Anyway, you go on to say, and even if it were, the universe is so vast, it wouldn't be surprising that the search takes a while. Even if it will turn out that we are indeed alone in the universe, that still would not be proof that we were created by God. I mean, if we found other life in the universe, it will be like evidence towards that we were maybe created with panspermia. We don't have that, so there must be somebody that created us, right? You can keep on saying that life created itself, but you have to prove it, right? It's just a fairy tale. Until now, we have a theory that explains all the problems, right? With creation of life, universe, etc. And you have a theory about it being possible to find out in the future. So let's see who's correct. The value of the laws of physics are fine-tuned. Yeah, this is a good point. Obviously, not only that they're fine-tuned, but they are static. What's keeping them static? You don't really answer it here. We can tell time by looking at the universe. This is a non-point, honestly. I don't know what the point of this is. The creation of matter at the Big Bang violates the first law of thermodynamics. Yeah, it does. What was your answer here? More specifically, the principle that matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed. There are two problems with this statement. The first is that the Big Bang does not address the creation of the universe. It is merely a step in the development in the universe. Okay, so you want to say that the matter was here all along. So you haven't, you don't really answer that question either. You cannot say that matter, like matter wasn't created, it was already here. Like, come on, how is that not a stupid argument? I know that this article is old, it's from like 2016, but come on, man, like even back then, like how were you making these nonsensical arguments? 6, evolution violates the second law of thermodynamics. Yeah, it does. How are you going to say that molecules can like build themselves up and become like more complex through randomness? It's honestly nonsensical. We don't see it anywhere except in biological life forms. Obviously, we're somehow different from everything else in nature. Again, I advise you to write an article where you refute God, like specifically God. If you want me to answer your article, like if you want to challenge me, you have to define God from like a Muslim perspective, an Atari Muslim perspective, and give us reasons for why God isn't real or why Islam isn't real, etc. And then I can give you an honest answer without having to skip over most of the arguments that don't have anything to do with me. But going back to your comment, like you said that like you cannot hate something and find it disgusting. I think the answer I wrote to Joop is that he hasn't published yet. Is that like, do you find rotten food disgusting? Do you find like moldy bread disgusting? Isn't that biased? Isn't that like closed mind? Obviously, if you find something disgusting, you must have a reason for it. There can be a logical reason to find something disgusting. You don't have to like be a bigot because you find something disgusting. And then I answered several of your points, and I noticed that you didn't really answer like most of my points, except of like getting mad, getting like butthurt that I called you out on them. Still, again, thank you like for publishing the comments so people can see that your claims are nonsensical, because that's what atheism is about, right? Reasons and science. So I scientifically prove that your like claims are false. I added like, for instance, you didn't answer anything about simulation theory. That's something that atheists will never be able to answer. Even like a secular perspective on the simulation theory, that maybe you created a simulation and went in, like atheists have no answer for this. I don't know what to tell you, Joop. Look, the only thing I can recommend you is come to Islam. You see that your beliefs are illogical. You postulate reason and logic, but you don't have it. And when you're challenged, you don't have answers for it. Otherwise, you will have answered at least some of the points raised in the video, right? So yeah, look, you seem like a nice guy, but the way you're going, it's illogical. You're gonna go to hell for no reason. So come to Islam, inshallah. Come to the real reason, the real logic. Understand that you are not a byproduct of an accident. Understand that you were created here. This is a test. The simulation is real. And later on, when some people enter hell, they won't be able to say, but if I had the opportunity, I would have been good. I would have obeyed God, etc. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and check in next time.